It was in the early 1970s when scientists started to become concerned about CFCs and other ozone depleting substances and the effect they were having on the ozone layer and the impacts that would have on the environment and on human health as well. And so to deal with this issue, countries from around the world came together and really did something that was remarkable. In 1987, the Montreal Protocol was ratified by every single country that was a part of the United Nations. It's the only universally ratified treaty in the history of the UN. And this treaty, countries from around the world came together, recognized the problem, and basically mandated the replacement of ozone depleting substances, ODSs, with substitute chemicals that were not damaging to the ozone layer. And so what we see in these graphs here, we can see this one on the left shows the production of ozone depleting substances. And after the adoption of the Montreal Protocol in 1987, we see just a really precipitous drop in the use of those ozone depleting substances. And we can see here a prediction of what things would have been like if the Montreal Protocol were not ratified. Okay, and what we see is these areas in the map that are in red are areas that are very hazardous in terms of ultraviolet radiation. Estimates are that 280 million cases of skin cancer were avoided due to the adoption of the Montreal Protocol, due to the phasing out, the production and use of these ozone depleting substances. So that's a serious contribution. And it's often held up as an example of cooperation between nations producing change that can be positive and beneficial for the environment. If we look at this graph on the right, we can see this shows the ozone concentrations over time at different places. Global is in the middle, the Arctic, and then the Antarctic. And we can see sort of the precipitous drop here, especially in the Antarctic. And then we can see the predicted or the projected modeled recovery of that. So because these ozone depleting substances have a very long persistence in the environment, even though we stopped using most of these materials in 1987, they still exist and they're still present in the upper atmosphere, in the stratosphere. So it will take a long time for the ozone layer to sort of heal itself, but it is predicted to do so in the next 100 years or so.